Dubai, a desert transformed into a kingdom of glass and steel, a place where billion-dollar towers pierce the sky and supercars roar across highways built on sand. To the outside world, it looks like the future, a miracle city where anything seems possible. But what if I told you this paradise has a shadow so dark that most who visit will never even glimpse it? Every year, more than 16 million tourists land in Dubai. They walk into malls so vast they could fit 100 football fields. They marvel at artificial islands shaped like maps of the world, and they take selfies beneath the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building on Earth. But here is the question no brochure dares to answer. Who truly pays for this dream? Beneath the shimmering skyline is a system built on silence and control. Migrant workers, trapped in contracts they cannot escape. Laws so strict that one careless mistake could destroy your future. Stories erased before they are even told, and a wealth gap so enormous that it splits the city into two invisible worlds. Dubai does not want you to see this side. Its image is carefully crafted, its secrets buried deep in the desert. But once uncovered, they reveal a reality that is both shocking and unforgettable. This documentary is not about the glitter you see on Instagram. It is about the sins hidden behind it, the invisible costs, the untold stories, and the truths whispered only in private. Because once you know what lies beneath, this city will never look the same again. And the first secret begins with the most powerful illusion of all, the promise of endless wealth. Dubai markets itself as a city of riches. Step into its gold souks, and you'll see shops lined with more than 10 tons of gold on display at any given time. Walk along Sheikh Zayed Road, and every other car is a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, or a Rolls-Royce. From billion-dollar islands to the 7-star Burj Al Arab Hotel, everything is designed to project one idea: limitless wealth. But what if I told you that this shining image hides one of the greatest economic illusions of our time? Because behind the luxury, the reality is brutally unequal. Less than 10% of Dubai's residents control almost all the wealth. The ruling elite and a small class of ultra-rich expats live in skyscrapers with private pools, penthouse views, and servants on call. Meanwhile, the majority of people living in Dubai are low-paid workers. Many earn less than $300 a month, barely enough to survive, let alone share in the riches of the city they help build. Tourists see the malls packed with designer brands, but very few ask who can actually afford them. For most of Dubai's population, even stepping into these stores is out of reach. The wealth gap here is staggering, wider than in New York, London, or Paris. And unlike in the West, where poverty is visible on the streets, in Dubai it is hidden, pushed to the outskirts where visitors rarely go. The truth is that Dubai's tax-free paradise is not built to make everyone rich. It is built to attract wealth from around the world, to create a glittering stage where the rich can show off their fortunes. For everyone else, the promise of prosperity is just smoke and mirrors. And yet the city keeps selling the illusion, because the more people believe it, the more power it gains. But illusions need builders, towers need hands, and the hidden cost of Dubai's riches is paid by a workforce that most tourists will never see. Every skyscraper in Dubai, every hotel lobby, every mile of highway, all of it exists because of an invisible army. They are the workers who build the dream, but never get to live it. Step into the heart of the city, and you'll see the polished towers. Step outside, into the desert outskirts, and you'll find the truth. Rows of cramped labor camps, where men live stacked in bunk beds, sometimes 12 or more to a single room. Most of these workers come from South Asia, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Nepal. They arrive with hopes of better pay, often borrowing thousands of dollars just to secure a job contract. Recruiters promise them salaries that sound life-changing back home. But when they land in Dubai, the story changes. Passports are often taken away, wages are delayed, and the debt they carried from recruitment fees keeps them trapped. For some, escaping means not only breaking the law, but abandoning the families who depend on the money they send home. The working conditions are harsh. In summer, temperatures soar past 50 degrees Celsius, hotter than the Sahara Desert. and yet many laborers spend long hours outdoors, often without proper breaks or protection. Reports have documented heat stroke, dehydration, and deaths on construction sites. But these stories rarely reach the news because silence protects the city's image. What shocks most outsiders is the pay. While Dubai sells itself as a city of billionaires, many workers earn less in a month than tourists spend on a single night at a luxury resort. $300, that's the reality for men who build towers worth billions. They are the hands behind the miracle, but they are hidden, pushed to the edge of the city, far from the tourists who come chasing the dream. And if the workers are hidden, so are the rules. Rules that govern life here, strict enough to turn even the smallest mistake into a crime. Dubai sells itself as modern, open, and cosmopolitan, but beneath the marketing lies a system of rules so strict that one careless mistake can turn into disaster. Tourists often believe they're in a playground of luxury, but they don't realize how quickly paradise can turn into a prison. Consider this: drinking alcohol in Dubai is only legal in certain places. Step outside a bar with a drink in your hand, and you're committing a crime. Public affection, even something as simple as holding hands or kissing in public, has led to arrests. For women, wearing clothes considered indecent can result in fines or worse. And the definition of indecent isn't always clear. It shifts depending on who's watching. The laws go further. Posting a negative comment about Dubai on social media, even from outside the country, has led to arrests upon arrival. Couples traveling together but not married can face scrutiny. Even prescription medicines, legal in the United States or Europe, have landed travelers in jail here. The city presents itself as safe, but that safety comes at a price: constant control. The rules are written broadly, leaving room for interpretation. That means foreigners can be punished for things they didn't even know were illegal. Imagine stepping off a plane for a holiday, only to spend years fighting a case you never expected. Dubai's laws don't just protect order, they protect the image, and anyone who crosses those invisible lines becomes an example. The message is clear: enjoy the luxury, but never challenge the system. But if rules are designed to silence, then how does the city control what the world hears? The answer lies in a machine built to erase anything that doesn't fit the glossy picture. Dubai's image is its most valuable currency. What the world sees is tightly managed: a shimmering skyline, a city of progress, a paradise for investors and tourists. But what the world doesn't see is just as carefully engineered. Behind the curtain, an invisible system works day and night to control the narrative. Criticism is treated as a threat. Journalists who dig too deep quickly find their access cut off. International media outlets are allowed in, but only under conditions that keep the story clean. Those who break the unspoken rules risk blacklisting, or worse, expulsion. Local journalists have even less freedom. Laws criminalize publishing anything that harms the reputation of the UAE, a phrase so broad it can silence nearly any story. On social media, the net is even tighter. Negative posts about the government, police, or even airline services can trigger investigations. Foreign residents have been arrested simply for sharing critical comments online. Platforms are monitored, and dissent is swiftly erased. The world sees only what the city wants it to see. Even culture is filtered. Films, books, and websites that touch on taboo subjects, from politics to sexuality, vanish behind digital firewalls. Tourists may never notice, but for residents, this is everyday life, living in a city where the internet itself has been edited. Dubai doesn't just build towers, it builds illusions. The censorship machine ensures the spotlight never drifts from the dream. But while stories are silenced, the ground tells its own truth. Beneath the glittering surface, another workforce carries the weight of the city. Every skyscraper, every luxury resort, every palm-shaped island, all of it rests on the backs of migrant workers. They are the invisible majority, flown in from South Asia, Africa, and beyond, lured by promises of wages that could change their families' futures. But when they arrive, the dream collapses into something far darker. Passports are often taken the moment they step off the plane. Contracts are rewritten, slashing salaries or extending work hours. complaints. They rarely reach anyone who can help. The system is designed to favor employers, leaving workers trapped. Many live in sprawling labor camps, far from the polished city, 10 men crammed into a single room, long shifts under the desert sun, and little protection from the relentless heat. Wages can be delayed for months, sometimes never paid at all. If a worker dies from heat stroke, accidents, or illness, the families back home often face impossible hurdles just to claim the body or any compensation. For the city, they are not faces, just numbers, essential but disposable. The irony is sharp. The same luxury hotels where the wealthy sip champagne are built and maintained by people who cannot afford a single night inside them. Workers are told they are building a paradise. In reality, they are living in shadows, their sacrifices hidden so the city's shine never fades. Dubai's image depends on keeping them silent, but silence comes at a cost, and the cracks are beginning to show. To the outside world, Dubai sells itself as a land of opportunity. But beneath the glass towers lies a truth many don't realize until it's too late. In Dubai, debt is not just a financial burden, it is a prison. Credit cards, car loans, and business investments are easy to obtain in a city built on consumption. Expats are encouraged to live big, to drive the latest cars, to rent apartments they can barely afford, but when payments are missed, the system turns ruthless. In most countries, debt leads to penalties or bankruptcy. In Dubai, it can lead to handcuffs. Ordinary people have been jailed for bounced checks, unpaid credit card bills, or failing to repay a loan on time. Stories circulate of foreign workers who fled overnight, abandoning everything, terrified of arrest. Cars sit abandoned at the airport parking lots, keys left in ignitions as their owners escape before the authorities catch up. Even successful business people are not immune. A sudden economic downturn, a failed deal, or a delayed payment can spiral into charges of fraud. For many, Dubai becomes a golden cage, beautiful on the outside, but locked with rules that punish even the smallest misstep. This unspoken system keeps the illusion intact. The city shines, but at any moment, a single unpaid bill can destroy a life. And behind the scenes, thousands carry that fear every day, careful never to stumble in the glittering trap. Dubai rises from the desert like a mirage, but keeping this city alive requires a constant battle against nature itself. The desert is unforgiving. Searing summers push temperatures above 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Without air conditioning, survival in the glass towers would be impossible. But powering those cooling systems consumes staggering amounts of energy, much of it fueled by oil and gas. Water tells an even darker story. Dubai has no natural rivers or lakes. Every drop must come from the sea, through energy-hungry desalination plants. The result, billions of liters are produced daily, but at a cost: massive fuel consumption, environmental damage, and toxic brine dumped back into the Gulf. For the wealthy, the water keeps fountains dancing and golf courses green, but for laborers in the desert sun, shortages mean rationed access in labor camps, where clean water is scarce. In a cruel twist, those who need it most often get the least. Dubai's survival depends on bending nature, but the strain grows heavier each year. The question no one asks is simple: what happens if the energy runs out, or the desalination plants fail? The glittering city is built on fragile foundations, and beneath the luxury, the desert is always waiting to reclaim its land. For millions, Dubai is a playground of luxury, but beneath the glimmer lies a hidden reality. The city can be unforgiving to those who unknowingly break its rules. Tourists arrive expecting freedom and indulgence, but a single misstep can turn paradise into a nightmare. Consider the countless travelers arrested for minor offenses, drinking in public, taking photos in restricted areas, or even holding hands in a park. What seems harmless at home can carry severe consequences here. Some have spent weeks, even months, in detention for actions they never imagined would be illegal. Others have faced deportation, losing not only money but dignity and reputation. The laws are complex and often unwritten. Tourists report being caught off guard by police checkpoints, security officers, and rules that shift depending on location or time of day. Even local customs can carry legal weight, with ignorance rarely accepted as an excuse. The irony is sharp. The city thrives on visitors, yet it punishes them silently, ensuring the world sees only the version Dubai wants to project. These cautionary tales reveal a broader truth: the luxury, the glamour, the glitter. It all comes with invisible boundaries. To outsiders, Dubai appears limitless, but the moment you step beyond the invisible line, the dream can collapse. And while tourists are warned only in whispers, the laborers building the city live under constant, unyielding scrutiny. Their struggle is far more permanent. Beyond the skyscrapers and luxury resorts, Dubai has neighborhoods few outsiders ever see. These are the areas where migrant workers live, the labor blocks or dormitories on the outskirts of the city. Here, life is harsh, crowded, and controlled. Rooms no bigger than storage units house 10, 12, sometimes 20 men. Privacy is non-existent. Heat, noise, and long workdays leave exhaustion as the constant companion. These residents rarely leave. Their movements are restricted by work schedules, rules enforced by supervisors, and the sheer cost of transportation. For many, the city's promise of prosperity remains out of reach. The money they earn is sent home to families in Nepal, India, or Bangladesh. A life in Dubai is not for comfort, it is for survival. Within these blocks, tension is constant. Accidents, illness, and mental strain are common. Medical care is limited, often delayed until emergencies become critical. Workers live in a world of scarcity and fear, where even small mistakes can mean fines or withheld wages. Their lives are invisible to tourists, their stories untold, yet they build the very city that dazzles the world. The contrast is stark. While Dubai's skyline gleams in the sun, these blocks remain in shadow, a reminder that luxury is not universal, and the price of beauty is often hidden suffering. And while residents live in these confined spaces, the city above maintains its image, policing what the world sees and silencing what it does not. Dubai's image is meticulously curated, but journalists who try to reveal its hidden realities face a dangerous path. Reporting here is not simply a job, it is a risk. Stories that question the city's labor practices, wealth disparity, or strict laws are monitored, censored, and sometimes punished. Those who persist risk fines, deportation, or worse. International reporters must tread carefully. Interviews with workers or locals are tightly controlled. Cameras, recordings, and even casual notes can attract attention from authorities. Several journalists who attempted to cover labor abuses or corruption have disappeared from public view, their work halted, their voices silenced. Local media operates under even stricter constraints, with the government enforcing laws that criminalize negative coverage of the city. The risk is not abstract. Freelancers, bloggers, and independent writers have been arrested for social media posts, or even for sharing images deemed inappropriate. The message is unmistakable in Dubai. The truth is subordinate to the city's image. Silence is enforced through fear. Yet the city continues to promote itself as safe, open, and progressive. Tourists and investors rarely see the consequences faced by those who attempt to uncover the darker truths. And while journalists are restrained by law, workers are restrained by circumstance, trapped in a system where exposure can mean punishment and even death goes unreported. The city thrives on control, not just of its streets, but of the stories told about them. But silence cannot last forever. The cracks beneath the glitter are slowly widening. Dubai's gleaming towers and luxurious lifestyle present a story of order and progress. But beneath the surface, corruption quietly shapes the city's reality. Allegations of protection rackets, hidden deals, and favoritism hint at a system where money and influence often outweigh the law. Reports suggest that certain businesses pay for protection or special privileges, bypassing regulations that others must follow. Disputes that might seem straightforward elsewhere, from unpaid wages to construction violations, can vanish if the right people intervene behind closed doors. Legal cases drag on indefinitely or disappear entirely, leaving workers, expats, and even local residents powerless. This system fuels inequality, While the elite navigate rules to their advantage, those without connections remain vulnerable. Contracts can be ignored, debts enforced harshly, and complaints silenced. Even basic human rights can hinge on one's ability to pay for legal assistance or navigate opaque bureaucracies. Dubai's authorities tightly control the city's image, but whistleblowers and insiders whisper of networks where money and influence govern more than justice. The glittering city skyline hides these deals, creating an illusion of fairness and lawfulness that few ever question. Corruption is not always visible, but its effects ripple through the lives of workers and residents alike. It ensures the city's dreams stay polished, while the realities of exploitation remain hidden. And while deals are struck behind closed doors, the city's shadows stretch further, reaching into the hearts and minds of those who live in constant uncertainty. Dubai's skyline dazzles with light, but beneath that brilliance, many residents live in the shadow of fear. For workers, expats, and even locals, the pressure to conform, obey, and remain silent creates a constant psychological burden. Every decision carries risk. A missed payment, a wrong word, or even being in the wrong place at the wrong time can lead to serious consequences. Migrant workers face isolation, cramped living conditions, and relentless labor. Their days are long, their breaks short, and their wages often delayed. The stress of supporting families back home, combined with uncertainty about their own safety, takes a heavy toll. Mental health resources are scarce, and stigma prevents many from seeking help. Depression, anxiety, and exhaustion are common, though largely invisible to outsiders. Even privileged residents are not immune. Expats navigating strict laws live with the constant awareness that a single misstep could end in fines, detention, or deportation. Families adjust behavior, monitor children, and censor themselves to avoid conflict with local authorities. Silence becomes a survival mechanism, a way to protect oneself in a system that tolerates no deviation. The city's gleaming exterior masks a deeper truth. Prosperity comes with unseen costs. For those living under constant scrutiny, freedom is limited and security is conditional. Every day becomes a careful negotiation between survival and the illusions that Dubai projects to the world. And while the psychological weight remains mostly hidden, the city's myth of perfection continues, a perfection built on fear, control, and silence. By day, Dubai dazzles with gold, glass, and endless luxury. By night, a different reality emerges, one that few outsiders ever glimpse. The city's streets, though seemingly safe, are governed by invisible rules and constant surveillance. Cameras monitor every corner, undercover police patrol quietly, and even a minor infraction can escalate into a legal nightmare. For workers and residents, the contrast is stark. While tourists enjoy nightlife, rooftop bars, and entertainment, many laborers retreat to crowded dormitories or labor camps, exhausted and wary of leaving their compounds after dark. Curfews are unofficial yet enforced through fear of harassment, fines, or worse. Expats living in the city must navigate these unwritten codes, aware that ignorance is rarely an excuse. Even seemingly minor social interactions can carry consequences. Public displays of affection, loud arguments, or casual drinking outside designated areas have landed visitors and residents alike in detention. The city's image as a safe, glamorous paradise masks these dangers, keeping the harsh realities out of sight. Dubai thrives on this duality, the promise of dreams for some, the enforcement of fear for others. The luxury is real, but so is the cost, a constant balancing act between desire and danger, freedom and control. And while tourists leave with memories of opulence, the hidden struggles continue, silently shaping the lives of those who will never escape the city's grip. For every soaring skyscraper and glittering mall, there is a story left untold, of workers who never made it home, of expats trapped in the legal system, and of families left waiting for news that may never come. Dubai's pursuit of progress often leaves human lives on the sidelines, quietly scarred by exploitation, neglect, and misfortune. Accidents on construction sites claim lives, yet investigations are rare and compensation delayed or denied. Families back home are left in limbo, navigating bureaucracy and silence just to understand what happened. Survivors carry invisible scars, both physical and emotional. Many live with trauma from harsh labor conditions, isolation, and the fear that any mistake could spiral into disaster. Even for those who escape immediate danger, the psychological toll lingers. Memories of cramped dormitories, relentless work, and constant surveillance follow them long after leaving Dubai's borders. For locals and expats, the city's strict laws and silent oversight leave lasting anxiety, a constant awareness of how fragile security can be. Dubai's gleaming exterior hides these stories, keeping them out of view, while the city continues to thrive and grow. Yet, beneath the sparkle, the human cost remains, an unspoken legacy carried by those who built, endured, and suffered. And as the city moves forward, expanding ever higher and brighter, one question remains: can the weight of these hidden truths continue to be ignored, or will they eventually surface, challenging the empire Dubai has so carefully constructed? Dubai presents itself as a miracle in the desert, a city of ambition, wealth, and dreams realized. Visitors see luxury cars, towering skyscrapers, and shopping malls that stretch for miles. But behind this dazzling image lies a far darker reality. The city's success is built on the silence, sacrifice, and endurance of those whose lives remain mostly unseen. For every tourist marveling at the Burj Khalifa, there is a worker enduring unbearable heat to ensure the towers remain standing. For every luxury hotel, there are men and women living in overcrowded dormitories, sending the little they earn back home. Debt, strict laws, and fear maintain control, shaping lives in ways outsiders rarely notice. Freedom is conditional, and safety is engineered through surveillance and punishment rather than liberty. This documentary does not aim to destroy Dubai's image. Its purpose is to reveal what lies beneath the glitter, the hidden side they hope you never see. The stories of workers, survivors, and families left behind remind us that every empire has a cost, often invisible to the eye. And now that you know, the choice is yours. You can admire the towers from afar, seeing only what they want you to see. Or you can remember the truth that every dream Dubai sells comes with shadows, and every glittering skyline has a story of struggle, silence, and unseen sacrifice hidden beneath its foundation. Once the veil is lifted, the city will never look the same again.